I'm sharing my screen. Please let me know if it is visible. Please type yes in the chat box. Okay, Darshini, thank you. Okay, let's do a quick recap. So yesterday our discussion was on top of the Java main method, right? So yesterday during the at the end of the session, we were discussing about what is the requirement to provide parameters to the main method. So if this is the main method, why it is required to why the main method is accepting some parameters in the command line arguments? Why this thing is actually required? Of course, we know that this thing is an internal design because this is how the main method is designed. But what are the advantages that we have on top of this string array arguments? What are the advantages we as a developer, we as a programmer, we have on top of this parameter? Especially when I say parameter, it is nothing but string array arguments. Okay, especially this part, it is going to accept arguments from the end user in the command prompt. Okay, to understand this particular thing, I have introduced about the static input, dynamic input, and the command line input. So we know what are this. Okay, when I say static input, okay, when you are developing a Java program, and if you keep the data static, so this is one of the data and this is another data. Now the static data, because this data is already placed inside the program. So even if you run this code for the 100 number of times, the output is going to be same. There will be no changes in the output unless and until you make any changes in this program, right? If you give this program to the client, if the client starts executing this program, so on every execution he is going to get the same output, static output. It will not be changed. Okay, and dynamic input is something you will collect input from the end user by using the scanner classes, and we will discuss about this in the future topic. For now, to understand what is a dynamic input, we need to understand what is a scanner. Scanner is nothing but you will scan input from the end user. The real time will get input from the end user. Okay, our core idea, our main purpose of introducing all these concepts is to understand the command line input. So in Java, there are three types of input. If anyone is asking, you can say that static input is there, dynamic input is there, and command line input is there. Okay, this is the topic of discussion. Yes or no? This is the topic of discussion. What does it says? If the input data is accepted from the command prompt, okay, that type of input is called as what? The command line input. Okay, this command line will be captured by the JVM and will be assigned to these parameters. What is really happening behind the scenes? For example, let's say that if I have a Java program like this. Okay, let me open my paint screen. Okay, let us say that I have a Java program which is designed like this. Let me increase the font size. Okay, class test. Okay, public static void, a simple Java code, very self-explanatory. Okay, there is a main method, that's it. String array arguments. Okay, so let me add people inside. Okay, so this is the simple Java code. Okay, we know what is this. Okay, the code has it has a class and it has a main method. Okay, there are two entities in this Java code. One is class. Inside this class, I have placed the main method. Okay, we know in the command prompt. You know what? In the command prompt, assume that this is a command prompt. Guys, if you have options to admit people, you can admit it. Okay. Okay, so in the command prompt, I have two options. I can perform many operations, but it's specific to Java code. I can perform the compilation and the execution. For the compilation, the command is java c space test.java. Okay, and for the execution, the command is java space test. Okay, so we are talking about the command line inputs. Okay, while performing the execution, I also have an option to give some inputs in the command prompt. The input can be anything, guys. It can be a string type, it can be numerical type, it can be floating point type, it can be any type. Whatever type that you are giving it here, okay, it will be considered as a string type only. Whatever the type that you are giving here, it will be considered as what? It will be considered as the string type only. Right? For example, let us say that I am giving the input like Ganesh, okay, and Jyoti. Okay, this statement is reflecting what? This statement is what? It talks about the execution, and while performing the execution, I am passing some data. So data is of what type? String type. So one is this is representing some names, some student names, Ganesh and Jyoti. Okay, what does really happens when the moment I do this, what does really happen? So let me create some space here. Okay, I'm just creating some space. Okay, this is the command prompt, the command inside the command prompt. What does really happens? Okay, the data that we are providing here, this is the data that we have provided here. Okay, let me highlight this. Two data, we have Ganesh, we have students names. One is Ganesh space Jyoti. Okay, this data will be formatted to a string type. Okay, it will be stored in the string array. It will be stored where? It will be stored inside the string array. The space, the array will be of with two indexes. Why two indexes? There are only two specific information about student. One is Ganesh information is there. Okay, and the second one is what? Second one is what? Jyoti. Okay, this is of what type? This is of string type. String array type. Okay, so there are, okay, forgot about this. This is a compilation stage and this is the execution case. The moment you give Java space test, what happens? The JVM will get activated. Just imagine that this is the JVM. JVM is what? Java virtual machine. Okay? JVM will get activated as soon as it sees Java space test. It means the JVM gets activated instantly. Okay? This is get activated. Okay? Activated. JVM has been activated. As soon as the JVM is activated, JVM will create a main thread, right? And this main thread, okay, at the time of creating the main thread, this main thread will also carry this information. What information it is going to carry? This main thread is going to read the information, all the input information that we have specified in the command prompt. Okay, this is the main thread. Okay, at the time of creating the main thread, this main thread is going to read all the information that has been specified in the command prompt. How many information is there inside the command prompt? Only two information is there. One is what? One is Jyoti. Next one is what? Next one is Ganesh. Okay, this main thread is going to carry this information, read this information command prompt, and it will carry this information along with it, and then it will try to get access to what? It will try to get access to the main method. It will try to get access to the main method, and this set of information will be given to these arguments. ARGS. Right. Second point is JVM will store all the command line input in the form of string. Okay, this information will be stored in the form of string, and it will be given to what? It will be passed to these arguments. Okay, now what happens? Now the reference variable is going to be what? 1 minute, guys. Okay. Now it is going to get reference variable as ARGS. Very simple. Main thread will be created. Main thread is going to carry the information Ganesh and Jyoti along with it while as accessing to the main method, and then this Ganesh and Jyoti information will be assigned to the args because we have defined the variable name as ARGS. Okay, then you can do manipulation with this data. So this is what happening internally. Three steps are happening internally. What is the first step? Step number 1. Okay, JVM will produce the main thread, and the main thread will read all the inputs in the command line arguments, first thing, and the command line arguments from the command prompt. Yes or no? From the command prompt we are giving the command line argument, so it will read all the information from the command line arguments in the command prompt. Your way of picking. Second step, okay, the main thread will store the input, it will store the command line input in the form of strings, string array, or I can say that string array. Second point, it will store the command line input in the form of string array, and it will then, third point, it will get access to the main method and pass the data to the string array that is specified in the main method parameter. Making sense, everyone? These are the 3 points that you should remember. Okay, this is an advantage for us because in the runtime you can give some information in the command line as a command line input, and you can perform some manipulation. In the real time you will use these cases in the real time examples, and there are many concepts in advanced Java where you will be dependent upon the command line argument. Over there it will make more sense. For now we have an option to pass the data in the command line so that the main thread will come into the picture, and it will, it will follow all these 3 procedures. Right, let me include this in the notes. These are the 3 things that are happening behind the scenes. Making sense? Yes, no? Okay, yesterday I have already covered this topic, but for the better understanding I have just repeated this. Are we good? Shall we proceed with a new topic, everyone? Remember these 3 points. I have already included this in the notes. Okay, you can find the notes in the YouTube description. Okay, I never missed any notes there. Okay, so therefore the main intention, what is the main intention of the main method parameter? Main method parameter is to manage all the command line inputs. Why it is there? Now we got to know why we are specifying string array args in the main method. Just because of this, the main intention. What is the main intention of the main method parameter? Is to manage all the command line inputs that we receive in the command prompt. The inputs can be anything. So this is the complete picture about the string array arguments, especially this part. So we are discussing about this part, why it is essential, why it is given, why it is made mandatory, what is an advantage as a developer. We have an advantage. This is the advantage that we have. The main intention of the main method parameter is to manage all the command line inputs that we receive in the command prompt. Just to receive command line inputs, we need this. That's why it is specified in the main method prototype. As simple as that. There is no explanation required for this, I guess. Right? The next question. What is this question? Yesterday's question. It was part of okay. Now question number 12. Now question number 13. Question number 13. Okay. What is the requirement to provide string as the data type? String as the data type. Why the database string? Why not integer? Why not float? Why not some other thing? Why they are specifying it as string? Why it has been specified as string? Main method parameter. I will tell you why. Because in Java especially, string is a very special data type. I will tell you why it is a special data type. String is a very, I can say very special data type. Very special data type. Why means, for example, let me say I have many inputs. For example, let me open my paint screen. Okay, I have inputs like I have data in the form of number. Okay, I have data in the form of boolean. Boolean can be true, or it can be false. Okay, I have the data in the form of floating point value 100.20f. Okay, I have data in the form of character. Okay, I have data in the form of string, right? So each and every value, okay, if you just focus on each and every value, this is a numerical value, this is a boolean value, this is also a boolean value, floating point value, character value, string value. Okay, and it is very appropriate that if you want to store this value, the meaningful data type is what? Integer data type. Yes or no? To store this value, the meaningful data type is integer data type. To store this value true, the meaningful data type is what? Boolean data type. Meaningful, because you cannot change the data type. If you want to store the value true, it can be stored in the form of boolean data type. To store the value false, it can be stored in the form of, again, boolean data type. Okay, to store the value Ganesh, Ganesh is representing a sequence of character. We can store in the form of string data type. Character, single quote, characters in the single quotations, you can store in the form of character data type. This is the floating point data type. Yes or no? Okay, but don't you think that I can save all these data types? I can save 1000, I can save true, false, Ganesh, whatever it is. I can use only one data type, which is a string data type. Don't you think so? I can store all these values just by using string data type. A string is capable to store the integer data type, it is capable to store the boolean, it is capable to store the string itself, it is capable to store the character, it is capable to store the float data type. Yes or no? I can do the same thing, right? String, for this example, okay, string, string number, okay, I can store the actual number in the form of double quotes. Valid. This is valid. Likewise, I can store the boolean data is checked. Okay, I can store true. Boolean data can be stored in the form of string data type, no issues, but it should be in the double quotes. Okay, I can store the character data, string alpha, possible. I can store the floating point data, string petrol price. Okay, what is it? 100.20 f. Possible, but it should be in double quotes. It should be in double quotes, but it is always possible. Don't you think that this is also giving the meaningful representation? Okay, even though we are storing a numerical value in the form of string, this is a numerical data, but internally it is converted to string. But I mean, the string data type is capable to store the numerical data. It is capable to store the boolean data. It is capable to store the character data. It is capable to store the floating point data. Don't you think so? Right? By this, don't you think that I can conclude that it is a very special data type? Are you getting this point? Why it is string here? Because the command line input, during the command line inputs, not only the numbers that we are going to like send in the form of data in the command line arguments, you can send any form of value. It can be numerical value, it can be alphanumeric, it can be special characters, it can be boolean data, whatever it is. That's why they have declared it as string, because collectively you as a developer, you as a programmer, you should be able to pass all kind of data, right? So that is why it is called as a string. Is a string data type is a very special data type. You agree with me or not? Yes, no? Type yes in the chat box if you are understanding this, everyone. Guys, are you getting this? I want response from everyone. Are you getting this? Why it is a very special data type? Because it is capable to store all the values. It can be numerical, it can be floating point, it can be a character, it can be a string itself. All the data is capable to store, but internally it will be stored in the form of string. But by looking at this, you can able to guess, right? This is of numerical type. Okay, by looking at this, you are able to guess. This is numeric data. This is a boolean data. We are able to guess character data. Where was it? Okay. And floating point data. Internet is stored in the form of string, but it is capable to store all kinds of data. That's why it is called as a special data type. Okay, if you allow string in the main method as the parameter, then in the command line you can pass any set of values. Example, okay, let me take a small Java program. Okay, this is my Java code. I'm using a for loop here to print the information that I am collecting from the that is being collected from the command prompt or in the as the command line inputs. I is lesser than aux dot length I plus plus. Okay, simple for loop system dot out dot println. Okay, aux of. I will be collecting the data from the command line. Okay, same data will be printed here. We'll run this logic. Now let us see the output. Let me change the directory. cd space java3 java c space test.java java space test. See, I can pass numerical data 100. Okay, floating point 200.12 here. Boolean data true, again Boolean data false. Okay, again the string data Ganesh, right? Character data here, long data L. See, I'm able to pass all the data and all the data is being printed here. Right, 100 it is what are we missing? Okay, 7 has been typed typo 100. Okay, let me run this once again. Okay, y7 is coming space test space 100 300 2. Okay, I will debug this. I'm not sure why we are getting 7 here. Okay. Consider 200 true false Ganesh a. We consider this output. Okay, it is able to accept all kind of inputs in the command prompt. Okay, numerical data, boolean data, string data, and you can add character data, whatever it is. So that's why it is being given as the string data type. Right, this is the input and this is the output. Okay, let me include this program in the notes. Okay, I can write in such a way that, okay, in general the end user is able to provide the command line inputs in different data types. And the main method should be capable to collect all kinds of data from the end user. That's the reason why the data type is given as string in the main method parameter. Okay, if the data type is not string, for example, if the data type is integer, do you think that we will be able to input any other data apart from integers? only integer will be valid. Only you can pass integer values. It is reducing some scope. It is a big disadvantage in the runtime. Okay, if it is float, do you think that we will be able to give any input apart from full floating data type? No, we cannot. Only float data type is accepted. If it is boolean, you can able to either send true or false. Apart from this, nothing gets accepted. If it is string, all kind of data will be accepted. Yes or no? Okay, if you get this question like what is the requirement to provide the string as data type in the box, okay, your answer should be this one. Are you getting this? Definitely you will get this question. One of the questions will be there from the main method. Everyone type S in the chat box if we are good to go. One response from everyone. Yeah. Okay. Next question. What is this question number 13? Question number 14. Only 3 more questions are there. That's it. We will be done with the main method. Okay. Question number 13 was completed, isn't it? Now question number 14. Question number 14. Okay. What is the requirement to provide? So you are not getting any doubt here. See, usually we are passing the data in the form of string type only. For example, if okay, let me clear this for you. All the data types are in the form of string. Okay. For example, if I had to do the summation from all the command line inputs, I want to do the summation of values that I am receiving it from the command line input. How it is possible? How is it possible? Okay, we need to do the internal conversion for that. We need to do what? We need to do the internal conversion. Okay, all the data that we are receiving it there is in the form of string type. For example, okay, let me move this question bottom. Okay, if I am passing 2 inputs in the command line, for example, let us say that Java space test space 10 comma 20 comma 30. Okay, even though these are the numbers, internally this will be stored in the form of string. How this will be stored? It will be stored in the string array. Okay, in the index 0, 10 will be stored. In the index 1, 20 will be stored. In the index 2, 30 will be stored. Okay, it will be stored in the form of what? This will be stored in the form of string array. Okay, this will be in the 0th index, first index, or the second index. I can access these numbers by array of 0. If I do array of 0, the output is going to be 10. Okay, but these things are not a number. These things are getting stored in the form of string type. Like this, it is getting stored. Okay, if I try to add args of 0 and args of 1, okay, if I try to do the summation, the output is going to be what? It is not going to be 30. It is going to be 10, 20. Because this is one string and this is another string. 2 strings will always get concatenated. It will get concatenated. It will not get added because they are of string type. Okay, this is getting stored in the form of string. We need to convert this to the actual numbers. If you convert this to the actual numbers, then you can get the output as 30. Since they are in the form of string, the output is 10, 20 because they get concatenated, and the output is going to be what? It is going to be string itself. Right? I need to do the concatenation. To do the concatenation, I need to remove this double quotes. Okay? I need to remove this double quotes. Then this string is converted to the integer value. Now if I do the summation, the output is going to be what? 10 plus 20 is going to be 30. Internally we need to do some conversion. I will give you a small example on top of this. Okay, how we can perform the conversion. Okay, let me rewrite this program. I am taking a blank variable as sum equal to 0. Okay, here what I am taking, first I will write the program, then I will explain you about the logic. We will do the tracing, no worries. Okay, here integer I equal to, there is a method called integer dot parse. Okay, this method will accept a string value I'm passing a string value of 0. Now what I am doing, sum equal to sum plus I, system dot out dot. This is one example that I will give you. In the future topics you will understand all the methods, all the internal conversion methods. We have parse float, we have parse double, we have, okay. So these methods are used to convert the string value to the respective data type value, right? Okay. Let me run this. Java C space test or Java. Okay. Variable I is already declared. I, okay. Let me keep it as share. Duplication is there. Since there is the variable I should not keep the I name here. So I am keeping it as share. Okay. And this should also be J. Okay. Java space test. Okay. I am giving inputs like, my idea is that I will be passing some integer values in the command line. Let us say that 10, 20, 30. 3 values I have passed. My output should be what? Output should be 60. Summation of these values. Output should be 60. 1 minute. 0 plus j, a of 0, sum equal to sum plus j. Let us do this. Okay, some logic is missing here. Args dot length I plus plus I equal to 0. Okay, this is what args of okay, args of I. I'm sorry. Okay, if I pass 100, 200, 300, the output should be the summation of these values. It should be 600, right? 600. Likewise, and again if I run, if I pass different values this time, 10, 20, 30, output should be what? 60, right? And again if I pass 1, 2, 3, the output should be what? 6. Okay, so you collect input from here and you are performing the summation. This summation logic is given here. What is happening internally? I will show you. I will trace this code. Pay some attention here. Very simple code. No need to keep much explanation on this. Okay. So in the command prompt, if I perform the execution by giving this command, Java space test space 10, 20, 30. Okay, if I do this, firstly JVM will be activated. Yes or no? Java space test, it will activate what? It will activate the JVM. We know this already. JVM will be activated. Okay, and JVM will produce the main thread. Okay, what main thread will do? Main thread will create an array for 10, 20, and 30. An array will be created. Okay, the values are going to be what? 10, 20, and 30. Okay, these values are getting stored in the form of string type. Double quotes are there. 10, 20, and 30. Okay, and each and every box, each and every rack is going to be indexed. Okay, it is going to be 0th index, it is going to be first index, it is going to be second index. Okay, and it is going to get a variable name as what? Args. Why Args? Okay, this array will be transferred here and it will be given to the string aux. Okay, that's why it is going to get what? Args. Okay, now what I am doing, I have assigned the value 0 to the sum. There is a memory space and the value is what? 0 here. Okay, and the variable name is what? Sum here. Okay, now come to the next line. There is a for loop. Focus here. There is a for loop. Okay, this is starting from what? It is starting from I equal to 0, I is lesser than or equal to args dot length. What does it mean? The boundary is what? I equal to 0 till where? I is lesser than or args dot length. So this is what? The length of the arguments. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 values. So arg dot length is going to give what? It is going to give 3. Because there are 3 values here. Only 3 values are there. So 3. If it has 4 values, it is going to be 4. Okay, value 1, value 2, value 3. So that's why a arc sort length is going to give what? 3. Okay, the loop will run from 0, 1, 2. I equal to 0, I equal to 1, I equal to 2. Because for the 3, the condition will be failed because we are incrementing every time. Okay, for I equal to 0, now look at this line. Okay, this method is going to do what? It will accept the string type. Okay, string will be accepted, and this string will be converted to an integer. What does it really mean? This double quotes will be removed. 10 will it will be free of double quotes, means it is the actual integer value. The value of string is converted to value of integer. Okay, and this numerical number 10, this 10 is getting added with sum. Especially focus on this line. Focus on this line. Sum plus j. J is what? 10. Okay, sum is what? 0. 0 plus 10 is equal to 10. And we are assigning it to the value sum itself. So in the memory, 0 will become 10. Second iteration. Okay, for second iteration is what? I equal to 1, and I becomes I greater than, 1 is greater than 3. The condition is going to be true, and I plus plus is also here. Okay, second value is 20. Okay, 20 will be converted to the numerical 20. This is a string 20. This will be converted to what? It will be converted to numerical 20. The double quotes will be removed. Okay, double quotes will be removed, and this 20 will be added to the sum, right? 20 plus sum. Already the value of sum is 10. 20 plus 10 is going to become what? 30. Sum is going to 30. Likewise, in next iteration, 30 will be added with 30. Okay, the sum becomes 60. After this, what we are printing? We are printing sum itself. What is the latest value in the sum? 60. That's why 60 is going to be displayed in the output. Same example, if I run 10, 20, 30, now you see the output. Java C space test.java 10, 20, 30. Output should be 60. Making this. So even though we are passing, even though the values that we are passing is going to be in the form of string data type, but internally you have an option to do the conversion like this. Okay, this is a method. This is an internal method where you will pass, it will accept string argument here. Okay, this will be converted to the actual integer argument. Okay, example, double quotes, you will be passing double quotes. Okay, the moment this method is going to do the conversion, this string will be converted to what? Normal integer. Okay. Right? Okay, next next question. Okay, just to understand this concept, I have explained you that, and again we will see a lot of programs in the future, in the future topics, especially about this internal conversions. Okay, next question number 14. Okay, what is the requirement to provide array types as parameter to the main method? Array type, we are providing this as an argument, string array arguments. Why we are providing array type as an argument? Why not just an array? I mean, why not just the string? Why you are providing array type? Because the data can be variable. For the first time, the command line inputs can be 10, 20, 30. The second time, the command line inputs can be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, you cannot accept the fixed amount of data. Every time in the command line, you will be specifying the variable input. Okay, variable inputs are expected. Okay, that's why this array can hold the variable input. If it is fixed, if it is just a string, only one input can be passed. Only one value can be passed. Since it is an array, you can pass variable data. You can also leave it just like that, or you can pass one data, or you can pass two data, you can pass 3, 4, and so on. That's why it is called as what? It has to be an array of string, not the ordinary string data type. Right? The answer can be, please be informed that the end user, or I can say instead of end user, I can say the programmer would pass variable command line input, and to catch hold of the variable input, the data type should be of array type, which could hold the variable data. Okay, next question, last question. Okay, that's all that's all about the main method by this last question. After that we will discuss some questions. Then 15th question. Okay, what would be the consequences if we declare the main method without the string array arguments as the parameter? Do we get compilation error or runtime error? Can you answer this to me? Okay, just by removing this. So let me remove all this. Okay, now we don't require all these things. So the question is, if I remove, instead of string, if I declare it as integer data type, I can do two operations here. Okay, one is the compilation and second one is the execution. Will I get any error in the compilation time? Tell me that. Will I get any error during the compilation time? We have been discussing this question for the last two classes. If you're not answering this, it means you're not practicing. So I try to perform the compilation. The prototype is not matching. Okay, the main method prototype is not correct. But will I get compilation error? Compile time error? Tell me. Everyone answer. Come on guys, Jyoti, yes, Ratna Kumar, Darshini, Ganesh, Jyoti and Shashwant, Vijay. Will I get compilation error? I want answers from you. What about others? Only two people are responding. Compilation error we are getting. What about others? Ganesh, Darshini. Okay, before even please go back and see this always. Please go back to the notes. Okay, see this every time. Please keep this in the mind. There will be no compile time errors, because for compiler it will not actually see whether you are defining the main method or not. Guys, why you are not getting this? We have been discussing this for the last 3 days. Compiler will not check if the main method prototype is correct or not. This method will be treated as an already method. Okay, even though if you perform the compilation, compiler will be happy with the code. 1 minute. Java C space test.java. There will be no compilation errors. Why you are not getting this? We have been discussing this 3 times. I have asked this question for the 4th time. There will be no compilation errors. Please revise this. There will be no compile time errors, because the compiler will treat the given method as an ordinary method and it will look for the syntax error. It would not check whether if the programmer has defined the main method or not. Same question I have asked for the 4th time, and again 4th time also people are not answering it correctly. There will be no compile time errors because this will be treated as the normal method. Only during the runtime, Only during the runtime, main thread will be created. Main thread will try to get access to the main method, and the main method prototype should be valid in the runtime, not in the compilation time. Are you getting this? In the runtime, the main method should be string only. It should not be integer, because main thread is designed in such a way that it is going to recognize the exact main method prototype. Okay, if you are giving this, then you will get the runtime error, not compilation error. Very important questions. Java C space test dot Java. No compile time error. Java space test. The runtime error you will get. Why runtime error? The prototype is not matching. This should be the prototype. But what is our prototype? Our prototype is integer. It should be string type. Are you getting this? Everyone? Please don't make this mistake. This is one of the popular interview question. If you say error, definitely it means that you are not practicing. Very important question. This has been repeated for the 5th time, including today. Okay, the answer is there will be runtime error. Because the main method prototype mismatch. It should always be public static void main string array. Okay, so there are some used cases that will be discussing now. Okay, you should answer me whether if it is valid or invalid. Okay. Okay, public static void main string array args. This is valid or invalid? This could be your interview question. Valid or invalid? Come on, everyone answer. Valid or invalid? This is valid or invalid? Just understand that there is a class. Just look at the prototype and say whether it is valid or invalid. Good. What about others? Everyone should answer. What about others? What about others? Darshini. Good. Okay, there is a twist here. This is invalid. Why this is invalid? I intentionally kept the string should always be in caps letter. Java is a case sensitive programming language. I have used the small letter. You should see these things also. Okay, don't get confused. Okay. See, it is saying string syntactical mistake. Compiler has found the syntactical mistake. S should be in capital letter. I have given it in which letter? Small letter. Are you seeing this? Okay. Invalid. Why invalid? Java is a case sensitive programming language, and in this program, yes, is in lower case. Agree? Everyone agreed? People who have said valid, are you getting this now? Please look for the letters also. Okay, don't miss it. Next question. Second question. Okay, here instead of args I am using Jyoti. Valid or invalid? This is valid. Why it is valid? You can give any name here. You can give any name. It is not like it should be args itself. You can give any name, but it should be meaningful. Okay, if I run this code, I should not get any errors if it is valid. Let me keep it as capital letters. Should be string array. Java C space test or Java. Sorry, Java space test. No errors we are getting. Valid. Okay, this is valid. valid. The variable name can be anything. Third question. Okay. Public static void. Okay, these questions are created to confuse you people, especially the freshers. Okay, very easy. Just keep these things in the memory. The orange string box. Now tell me, this is valid or invalid? Any idea? I have just changed these square braces. Okay, the square sets has been changed from this location to this location. Is it valid or invalid? What about others? Just one says valid. What about others? Good, good, good. You can change the square braces. No issues. Okay. In the Java array, the square braces can be here next to the data type or can be next to the variable. No issues. Or it can be before the variable also. This is also valid, and likewise this is also valid. It can be before the variable name also. This is also valid. Valid, valid. Where is the proof? Okay, let me remove the square braces and keep it next to Jyoti. There will be no issues. Java C space test.java, Java space test. No errors. So valid. It can be here also. Valid. Okay. Now you tell me if it is valid or invalid. Is valid or invalid? Fifth question. Valid or invalid? Valid or invalid? Invalid. Good, good. Why invalid? Because the data type should be always be of array type. Should always be of array type. If you remove this, this is an ordinary data type. Okay, these square braces are mandatory. But if you can use the square braces here or before the variable or after the variable. That's up to you. But it is mandatory. It is mandatory. The square braces are mandatory. Or else it will be treated as an ordinary data type. If you use the square braces, then it will be treated as array data type. Okay, if I run this code, I will be getting an error. Sorry, I did not. Let me save this. Which one is getting run? I'm not sure. Test.java. Test.java string. It's correct only. You will get error in the runtime. I'm sorry. It says main method not found because it will be treated as an ordinary method by the compiler. Okay, it will not look for any. It will look for only for syntactical error. Syntactically, it is correct. Okay, but in the runtime, the prototype is missing. It should be box. That's why we are getting this runtime error. Okay, let me include this in the code. Okay. I will concatenate with the nodes, no worries. Next, now you tell me. Okay. Okay, now you tell me. This is the typical interview question. Is this valid or invalid? So this is called as the Varrox method. We have seen this. So it means variable arguments, not fixed argument, variable arguments. Just imagine like this, okay? This parameter is used to accept the variable arguments. But variable arguments can be accepted in the form of arrays as well as by using this varars method. This is called as varars method. We have discussed this topic in the variable arguments method. Having said this, this is valid or invalid? Okay, this is absolutely valid. There is no issue. Okay, you can give array or you can give variable args. Both are going to accept the variable input from the command block. So this is also valid. Okay, valid. Next case. Okay, now this case, if I use the final year, is this valid or invalid? Okay, even you can use final year, no issues. You can use final year because there will be no changes. If, along with the static keyword, if you use final keyword, okay, both are going to behave in the same way. So there will be no changes. So this is also valid. No errors. So it is valid. Valid. Next question. If I change the order, static, public, void main, this is also valid. The order can be changed. The order is not mandatory. Public static or static public, both are going to give the same meaningful definition of a method. Java space test, no errors. Okay, this is also valid. These are just used cases, you should remember. I will include this in the notes, no worries. And the next type is, if I include final year, there will be no issues because along with the static you can use final, so there will be no changes. Okay, along with the static public, along with the static you can also use final. If I run this, I should not get any errors. No errors, so this is also valid. Valid. Okay, now next question. Okay, thank you for rejoining. Next question, last question, then we are good to go. Can you overload main method? Yes, you can overload main method. What does the overloading mean? To take the main method, the method name can be same. For example, in this example, public static void main. Okay, this is the method. Okay, you can have the same method name. Okay, this is method 2. This is method 1. Within the same class, you can have same method name. But the one thing you should take care of is the parameter should be different. Okay, this is called as duplication because all the method prototype is same. This is not allowed. But if you do this, if you keep different parameters here, okay, method names are same, main, but you specifically look at the parameters. This is a different parameter, this is different parameter, this is different, accepting different parameter. By parameter, this method is different. By parameter, all these three methods are different. By name, they might be same, but if they are different, if they differ by parameters, these methods are called as overloaded methods. This is allowed in Java. Okay, if I run this code, definitely the main method will be created, main method will get access to the main method. There is at least one valid main method. So this is a valid main method, right? I can say, let me, instead of doing this, system dot out dot println, okay, valid main method. Okay, the valid main method will get executed because it is you as a programmer, you have placed the main method as per the prototype. If I run this code, I should get the output as valid main method because the main thread will get access to the main method and we have the valid main method here. Okay, Java C space test.java, Java space. So valid main method will be displayed in the console. This concept is called as overloading. Okay, overloading is what? If you have the same method name but with different parameters, and if you are placing at least one valid main method, okay, the main method will be able to recognize it because it can find which is the valid main method according to this prototype, matching prototype. So this will be executed even though no matter what, how many main methods you are placed, they are different in parameters. Okay, overloading is possible. The answer should be straight yes. We will discuss about the overloading concept in the next week during the Java inheritance. Okay, for now, overloading is possible. Why possible? This is the example. Okay, next one is overriding possible in main method. The answer is straight no. Answer is big no. Overriding is not possible because main method is of static type. You cannot do the overload for the static methods. Okay, why this is not possible? We will be discussing this in the inheritance concept. Very simple topic. Okay, it will take just 5 minutes. In the future topic we'll discuss, so that there will be no confusion. Believe me, it will be discussed at that topic in the future. Because we don't know what is overriding itself, right? So we should know what is overriding. Okay, after knowing this, we will come to know, we can answer it is whether possible or not. But I am saying it is not possible. For now, keep it in mind, it is not possible. Okay, why it is not possible, that part we will be discussing in the future in the inheritance topic. Okay. By this, the main method is concluded. Main method is concluded. You will be able to answer all the interview questions on top of main method, I guarantee you.